Hey, I'm Joel Annesley, and welcome to the Gen Happy Hour Hangout series. We're on our second episode, and today I'm joined by the ever so fabulous Michael Leedy. How are you today, Michael?
I am absolutely lovely, Joel Annesley. How are you? How are you doing over there in your handsome glasses and very suave hair today?
I'm freezing.
Why are you freezing?
Why
you have a jacket on?
Yeah, I have a jacket on. It's cold. Well, I can't really complain. I live in a warm climate, but I'm calling this cold.
Wait, I need to know what cold is. What is the temperature?
This is 18 degrees Celsius.
Which is, so I guess we add like 30. What is that for me?
I have no idea.
I don't know either. 18, I don't know. We're going to have to do the math on that. I think so. It's what, like, is it in the 50s?
I don't do Fahrenheit, so.
Oh, geez. Yeah. I'll have to Google it in a minute, a little bit, and tell you. Hey, I'm writing it down, 18 degrees. Anyway, let's move on with the purpose, because I actually think 50 degrees is kind of cold. It is kind of cold.
It is a bit chilly. It's a bit chilly. Anyway, so yeah. Go on.
Sorry, we got all distracted talking about these things, you guys. We meet up in here and anyway, it's about our why today, isn't it, Joel?
It is about our why, and we did briefly talk about our why last week, but we're going to go in more detail today, aren't we?
We are. Well, here, let me just kind of recap last week a little bit, just so you folks can remember where we're coming from. So last week, you talked about, our vision and what we're doing and where we're starting. And basically, we're starting at the top, okay? Because when we started the Gen Facebook page, we asked a lot of questions just to see where you guys were at, what you're doing, where you need help with and whatnot. We got some people who have businesses already, but we have a very large majority who are in our group, which is a community of almost 10,000 people. I think we're actually over right now. We don't know what they want to do. They don't know where they're going. They just want to change, and they're just trying to figure out how to get that started. So we chose to begin at the beginning and kind of start with the basics. So today we're starting with the why. So most people, if you haven't been in this process, a why is kind of your overall reason why you're doing what you're doing, why you're making a change. As stated last week, my big thing is to change people's lives. I came from the recording industry, and I wanted to change people's lives, real people's lives, not high-end celebrities who need their single released tomorrow morning and they couldn't get their shit together. So, it's an emergency at midnight and I had to fix it. That's not a real problem to me. To me, I want to change people's lives like yours, because you're looking to do something different, but you're not really sure what you want to do, and that's the same thing Joel is doing. Hence, we're working together.
Yeah,
Exactly, right? So, together what we're doing is Joel's really good with mindset. He's great with marketing too. And I've been doing a lot of mindset stuff in marketing as well. And we're looking to help you shatter the learning curve to help you move faster. So we can leave a legacy behind, right? And maybe that's kind of what you want to do too. Maybe you don't want to be a trainer, but maybe there's things that you enjoy that you want to have bring more to the surface of your life, that would be your why. A big thing for me too is helping displaced, LGBT youth who have been kicked out of their families because their family's like, oh, you're gay, we don't want to talk to you. And then these kids, they think that they're not worth anything and they can't do anything, when in fact they have precious gifts that they just don't know how to tap into. And I want to help them do that too. And I think Joel kind of comes from the same angle. So these are kind of the reasons.
A lot of us are like that. We all have similar goals, probably within this community.
Probably. I mean, I don't want to get too far off topic that we kind of discussed, but like let me just keep going, and because I can get on tangents. I'll just get on tangents, and then we're going to be on here for like 45 minutes. We don't want that. So, so a lot of people, they're like, well, I just want money. I want a freedom lifestyle, and that's a big part of it. But it's actually deeper than that, because that is a result of you tapping into your purpose and following your dreams and tapping into what is intrinsically you. The question is, what is that? And we'll actually be covering more of the what next week. We've really got to solidify the why first. I'm just kind of like checking my notes here. Let's see, what do we got? Okay, so because here's why. Here's why, you guys. The way everybody was raised is that you go to school, and then you get good grades, and then you graduate, and then you go to more school, and you go in debt, and then you get out of school, and you get a job that you most likely hate, but you suffer through the job, and then you get married, have 2.5 children, then you retire at 55, 60, and then you're free to do whatever you want to do, and then you get to die. That's how we've been conditioned to live. I know, I'm sorry to put it that way.
Yes, woo!
So that being said, with us being, would that be fun for you, Joel, to like suffer your entire life and then you can retire and do what you want?
Yeah, I think there's another way. Something tells me there's another way.
And there is, which is why, I chose to leave my job, which is why Joel chose to leave his job. We're doing things differently. We're breaking things up, we're shaking things up, and we're showing you and inviting you to realize that you can too. The key is you got to kind of brainwash yourself out of the whole brainwashing that you were kind of conditioned with as a child. And it's no one's fault, just so you know, no one's fault, because they were conditioned too. Like our parents, their grandparents, their parents, everybody was conditioned to be this way. But right now, everybody's kind of waking up going, there's a better way. There's got to be a better way. And this is why we come into the why. And I actually have some books that I want to share with everybody, but I'll do it at the end, Joel, because I don't want to do all the talking.
Sure.
How would you, Joel?
I'll have to say, shut up, Michael. Give me a chance.
How would you invite people to tap into their why? Like how would you tell people to get started?
Yeah, definitely. Look, this is really, really interesting looking at, well, how can we get started? And I think before we look at, what we can do, I'm going to start with the why, but more so a question around who's been tempted, well, this is probably pretty obvious, but who's been tempted by the idea of having a lot of money? And what that would mean. But one thing that I wanted to perhaps ask you is, have you ever had that thought where you think, yes, I would love to have a lot of money, and you know what, I'll figure it all out once I get there. Because I've done that in the past where I've kind of just set loose goals, and I think, well, I'll just sort it once I've made the millions. And I've come to realize that's completely the wrong way to look at it, and that's quite a toxic approach. I suppose what I wanted to say here was that, the entrepreneurial journey is not an easy one, and I don't want to sugarcoat anything here. That basically, as an entrepreneur, we're risk takers. We take chances. Some of our ideas work fabulously, and some just fall over completely and go nowhere. And for me, I've had that experience of, ending up in businesses, scratching my head going, what am I doing here? What is my why? And realizing, okay, I need to go back to the drawing board and work out what I'm actually doing. What am I contributing to, and where is my end goal? So I think one of the big things this all comes down to is working out our motivation. What's going to get us up every day and inspire us to keep pushing forward. So Michael and I are super keen to help you not only be super successful, but we want to help you avoid the downside as well, and that is, stopping those feelings of feeling like you're failing or burning out or wanting to give up. Because I don't know about you, Michael, but I've certainly been there a few times where I'm just thinking, this is just too hard. Like, I've got these grand goals, but I just can't see a way. You've been there too, yet?
Oh my goodness, I can't tell you how many times prior to now that I just wanted to throw in the towel. And we're not talking throw in the towel, I'm going to quit and get a job, like throw in the towel and then jump off the Chrysler building. I mean, it was just like, life is, because it's such a challenge. It's a challenge. It's just a challenge because there's no map. And that's why Joel and I came together, is to collaborate and create a map so that you guys don't have to worry about that. It won't, we're not saying it's going to be easier. Well, let's never say it's not going to be easy. It will be easier. It's going to be more simple because you can choose your own adventure.
Exactly.
Anyway, continue, Joel. Sorry.
Yeah.
You know me.
No, you're right. Yeah. So what I'm saying here is that your why is ultimately what's going to fuel you. It's going to be what's going to keep you going. And I thought of this great little analogy, which I'm going to share now. And it's about, let's just imagine we're in a hurry, and we're heading towards our destination. We stop into you call it a gas station, I call it a petrol station. Is that right? I think so. But it's this idea of we're in such a rush that we put the wrong type of fuel in the car. And so what's going to happen is we're going to be tearing off, going down the highway, and then soon realizing that we would do some pretty major damage to the car, and just like it's going to completely bring things to a standstill. Like we're not going to even get close to our ultimate destination. And so I think that's a perfect reflection on sometimes how we feel about stepping into opportunities, that we rush ahead and we don't quite realize what we're doing, but we can kind of see the horizon, and we're driving towards it, and it all comes to a standstill. So we want to help you move beyond all that. And so I think one of the key things, getting back to what you're saying, Michael, is that where do we get started here to really look at our why? Well, it's about working on your own personal development, your own personal planning. And I truly think that this mission of working on ourselves is so much bigger than working on any business idea or strategy that you'll ever have. So it's working beyond this idea of just, show me the money, show me the opportunity. It's working out, okay, well, where's my mindset around all this? How can I be in the right mindset so that when I wake up, I'm driven and I'm motivated, and I will find the right opportunity that will get me to that destination. So definitely our why will have a huge impact on our decisions. It's certainly had a huge impact on mine. And it's going to influence the type of business that you'll get involved with, who your clients will be, what time you'll get out of bed every day, and the sort of decisions that you'll make. So, so it's about putting yourself at the top of the priority list. And I'm not talking about here, finding time to watch more TV. It is all about finding the things that will fuel you, to ignite your passions and get you excited, and look at the bigger picture. So I will give you some small exercises to do, and I will be very excited to see your responses as a comment. But before I do, I'm going to mention, and some of you may have heard of this already, but it's the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And I'm just going to bring up something on the screen. So I'm just going to share my screen for a second. Okay.
I am so glad I'm working with you, Joel, because you're just so organized and together. Not that I'm not, but you've got this calm goodness about you, where I'm just like, oh, F it, let's go. It's
I'm like, well, I've got this perception that I've got it all together.
You do, Joel. I love you and adore you. Okay, I'm gonna mute myself out again. Okay, ciao.
All right. So just so you know, I'm not about to try and sell you on some pyramid scheme. But this pyramid here is a really good way to visualize what we need in life. You know, so from self-actualization, which is kind of like looking at the top, working out our meaning and inner potential, then working on our self-esteem, confidence, achievement, respect of others, the need to be a unique individual, a love and belonging, a friendship, family, intimacy, sense of connection. And I see the Gen Network being a big part of this, that, you know, we're creating family here. And then we've got things like safety and security, where it's just putting the basics together from, you know, health, looking after your health, employment, property, family, having that level of stability. And then we've got the basic level needs, so being able to breathe and sleep. So what's this got to do with working out our why? And I think one of the key distinctions here is realizing that sometimes it's hard to see your why when we're locked into one of these categories. So, for example, if we're currently, you know, we're currently unemployed, or we're, you know, we have to move, or, you know, we're kind of concerned about a lower level issue, kind of takes over our life and puts everything else on hold. And sometimes we can get stuck in that category for a period of time, and that's okay. But it gives us an understanding of why are we having such a hard time in you know, understanding why I can't work out my why. And now I'm just going to switch back to.
Hey Joel, can I ask you some questions while you have that up?
Oh, totally. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, you guys. So this is the first time I've seen this before, but I've never seen it with Joel. So I would love his feedback on this. So I'm looking at it, and I feel like a lot of people kind of stop at love and belonging, and then it really starts falling apart. It's self-esteem. Would you consider that as a major part of where the why fits in, and why we need to tap into it so we can get to the top?
Yes. You're totally right there. And some of us, you know, just get stuck at that safety and security, or love and belonging, and we just can't see beyond that. You're totally right. So I see finding our why as being able to step into that self-esteem, boosting our confidence, having that, you know, achievement in our life, and then the overall stepping one step further, you know, having that meaning and inner potential. So totally, Michael. I think it's a huge thing, and being able to kind of step, you know, into the next category is such a rewarding thing that, you know, as a human being.
Thank you. I just wanted to kind of, since we were, you know, seeing this at the same time, me as well as the viewers. Okay, thank you. Continue,
right,
please.
So I'm going to switch back to. Okay, back to me. So what I was going to say is that this is why we get stuck on our why, because we get stuck in one of those categories and we can't kind of see beyond it. So it starts with working out, well, how can I look beyond my current category? Where am I, and how can I move beyond it? So I think one of the great activities that you can be looking at right now is working out, well, where am I? Where am I right now? And be open and honest, you know, and say, hey, you know, I really would love to step up into that self-confidence category, but I'm really stuck in, you know, you might be just stuck working out how I'm going to pay the bills next week. And, you know, if that's it, then that's okay. You know, be okay with where you are right now. But once we get clear on this, it really helps us just work out, okay, now I can figure out where I want to go, where I want to be. Does that make sense, Michael?
It does, actually. Well, can we put that chart inside of the forums, like below this video, so someone can look at it closer and longer if they'd like to?
Totally. I'm going to include it so we can refer to it, and so that they can be commenting as well. So excellent.
All right, maybe I can use that as the image that's inside of the group. So when people comment on number 1, they can comment on that chart. Would that be cool?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
I love it.
So you guys, that's how we'll connect that. So remember, you guys, you want to, when you're watching this video, comment this, remember in spot 1, that's where you comment for the Facebook group. And then if you have questions and whatnot for us, or you want to communicate with each other, that's where you would put beneath this video inside of the forums. Okay. Sorry, I just want to toss that in there.
Yeah, no, that's excellent. Okay, so that first step was about working out where we are now, and then it's the second step is kind of looking at, well, what is my why? Where is the bigger picture? And sometimes it's quite challenging to actually work that out. Some of us have a really clear why, and it's just so set in stone, and that's wonderful. But some of us are kind of going, I don't know, I could do so many different things, but what will it mean? So one of the great or simple activities you can do is basically start writing down. It's like that, just grab a piece of paper, start writing down what do you love doing, and what you'd like to achieve in life, and just write down as much as you can until you kind of run out of ideas. And so once you do that, the next step is to look at each point and then ask yourself, but why? And when you do that, write down what comes to mind. And so what's happening here is the first thought that comes to you is kind of like a surface level why. And then when you start to dig deeper, when you ask yourself why on that point over and over again, but why, then you realize it kind of, it becomes more specific and to the point what the overall purpose is around why you love doing something or what you want to achieve. And so this is something I'd love for you to have a go at. And, if you feel like sharing it, please do leave it in a comment below this video, because I think we will definitely find that, we're all very much in alignment, and I'm sure we've got all very sort of similar whys. So have a go with this. And before I hand back over to Michael, I wanted to share with you a really inspirational TED Talk. And it's a guy called Simon Sinek. And he has a TED Talk called Start With Why. And watch it, but I just wanted to highlight one specific point, which I think kind of ties this off nicely. And that is, he says, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And I want you to really think about that point, because when you work on your why, when you really spend time figuring out what this life is all about, what you want to contribute, you'll become more of a person of authenticity. It'll just pour out of you. Do you know what I mean? And so what's going to happen is this is going to be a complete reflection across, the businesses that you get involved with, and just your everyday life. And you'll start attracting more people just like you, whether or not they're going to be clients, associates, whoever they are. You'll be attracting other people who share similar whys. And that is a very powerful thing. And I think in many cases, this is what Michael and I are doing, is we're sharing our why with you, and you're about to share it with us. So I might leave it there, and I'm gonna close with it one last exercise, but I'm going to hand back over to Michael. Yeah.
I think it's really interesting that you brought up that Simon Sinek TED Talk. I have not seen that. But synchronistically, Joel, that's one of the books that I was going to talk about, Start With Why. It's one of the first books. Yes. yeah, just to back up a little bit.
Yeah.
And then you guys have heard me say this before, like I started with an MLM that was kind of mindset and marketing training. I'm no longer with it because it was a mess. And I don't like mess. I like order, surprise. I am tidy sometimes, anyway.
Sorry. I want to ask everyone, like we should vote, are we a tidy person or are we a messy person?
What did you say?
Just in our everyday life, are we a tidy person or are we a messy person? Because sometimes I find when you have that entrepreneurial creative mindset, you get so focused on the task at hand, you kind of look around the rest of your life and go, oh my God.
I'm going to turn that into a post. That's actually a great question for our group, on Facebook or even on Twitter. Oh, if you guys are on Twitter, if you're more of a Twitter person, we have now started on Twitter. What is it? What is the handle? Was it gay? No. What is it? Why don't even? I've like been living on there for the last 2 days and I don't even know what we're called. Gaypreneurs Net. GAYPRENEURS net. Okay, that's our handle. So if you're on Twitter, we're sharing lots of value over there, and we're meeting some awesome people over there too. Okay, and we're going to start bringing them in here as well, because I've noticed Facebook and Twitter, it's kind of two different communities. Twitter people don't go to Facebook, and Facebook people probably don't even get Twitter. So it's like, but Joel and I, we swing both ways sometimes. Okay, but let me just kind of
point out your T-shirt, by the way.
How was that? Oh, you like that? But no, wait, no. But see this. Okay, so yes, it's my catcher's mitt. Get it? A catcher. Get it? But I can pitch too. I do. Damn it. So listen, you guys, let me tell you about these 3 books, and I'll also put them below the video, okay? And the 3 books, the first book that really changed my life and what shifted me into leaving the job that I was in that paid me really well with amazing clients and benefits and whatnot, and inspired me to go travel and enjoy my life and then tap into something brand new, i.e. it helped me tap into my why, is called The Power of Intention by Wayne Dyer. And it's just about thought and how shifting, like, because thought is just like any other energy, because we can all agree that light's a frequency we see, right? Sound is a frequency we hear, right? And we're made up of vibrating particles, atoms and molecules and whatnots, right? That aren't even touching, really. Okay, so everything's all vibration. Well, thought is also a vibration. And if you tap into it, and if you're saying negative things, guess what you're going to attract? And I know you've heard that before, and you're probably like, oh gosh, here we go again. But once I started applying the theories in this book, my life started changing. Okay, so that was part 1. Then I started being around these MLM people, and I started hanging around all these people and going to these events. I started reading books I didn't read before, so I was reading books. I was listening to audios. I never listened to audios before. I started watching trainings, and I started watching videos, and that's how I discovered Start With Why, which helped me tap into my why. And listen, it took me a process to really nail down what my why was. So if you get frustrated, you're like, oh gosh, Joel and Michael make it sound so easy. It took me probably a good year to figure mine out. So that's why we're inviting you to start writing it down, start jotting notes, just start kind of getting it out there, because it is a process to recondition yourself into your greatness, because you have greatness within you, even if you don't think so. The key is you got to kind of get rid of the cobwebs that got in the way because other people put them there to protect you. Okay, so Start With Why is great for that. And then the other book that I really love that kind of brought, because, you may notice that we'll focus a lot of stuff online, okay? And that's a book called The Thank You Economy, and that's by Gary Vaynerchuk. And again, all these will be below so you can check them out. And that's just about how in the olden days, everybody lived in a small community. Everybody was friends. You knew your butcher, you knew your baker. Everybody knew each other, right? And then, cars came around and people started going further apart and, keep going. And then we get huge, mega stores. And so no one knew their butcher, no one knew their neighbor, and everything got separate. But because of the internet, everything's coming back together. If you're going to go look for something, you're going to either talk to your friend, or you're going to Google it, or you're going to post on Facebook, you're going to go look in Twitter, or you're going to go look online to see what the community's saying. And that's what this book is about, just to kind of give you some ideas. So, tap into your frequency with Wayne Dyer, Power of Intention. Start with why, so you can get some ideas. And he uses some great analogies that great stories, great things that are part of our real life. And then really, if you want to start thinking about the internet world and how you can tap into that, we've got Gary Vaynerchuk's The Thank You Economy. And honestly, I think that's all I really want to say, other than just reminding you again to make sure you comment in the group with that link that's below us, and then ask questions and whatnot. And with Joel's assignment, maybe put that inside of the comments on there too. It's a private group, guys. We're all here together. And when I say guys, I mean men and women. It's just that collective word. And that's really it. Like, get some engagement going on, because really it's all about us working together so that everybody can lift each other up at the same time. And that's all I really have to say, Joel. Do you have anything else?
Awesome. No, that's awesome. I was just going to say, I haven't actually read that first book you mentioned from Wayne Dyer, but amazing stuff that he does cover, I do know. But I really got started with the Secret movie. Have you seen that?
I have, actually.
Yeah.
Which is also very, very similar. It's been a while. Because was Abraham Hicks, I think, channeled that, but that's a whole different conversation.
Oh, it is. Really,
it's a whole different topic. But that's about using thought, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so, very much so. So we can definitely talk about that in more detail in other Hangouts. But this is kind of like to introduce you guys to all of this stuff, and it's definitely helped us put our mindset in check and get us on the right path. So, really excited to also, if you've got resources that have helped you, then mention them. You might teach us a few things as well. So, look, what I wanted to, before I close up, I wanted to give you one last thing that you can work on, and this is something that's had. This has really helped me, and it's this idea of describing what our perfect day would look like if we only ever had one day, or if we had the one day we repeated for the rest of our life. What would it be made of? What would it be made up of, and how would you spend those precious hours? So, if you think back to that pyramid, the hierarchy of needs. If you think about having all these needs being met and more, like everything, all the boxes ticked here, what would it look like? What would it be like when you woke up? Who would you be? Who would you see? Who would be beside you? What would the room look like? I suppose, consider all the different senses. What would you hear? What would you smell? All those little things, it kind of just paints a picture. And think about, kind of how that day would play out. Where would you go during the day, and what would you do? Who would you hang out with? Would it be close friends, family, clients? And, what sort of conversations would you have? And how also would you be contributing towards your ultimate why? So this is a really good exercise, and it's not something you can do in 5 minutes. I did this a number of years ago, and I like to go into a lot of detail, to the point of describing what the carpet looks like. But it's totally up to you. But this is something, it is quite personal. But if you would like to share it, then please do. But what I find is, like, if I'm feeling a little bit down, I like to refer back to my perfect day, and I'll read through it. And it's like, it's my own, it's this picture of where I want to go, where I want to be. And I've got it to the point where it reads like a story, and I read it and go, wow, and within seconds, I'm feeling better. Like it totally transforms a bad mood straight away. So that's a really, really powerful exercise. So I wanted to give that to you, and yeah, definitely encourage you to have a go. And it's up to you to how much detail you want to put into it, but find time to do it. It's worthwhile. So look, I hope you got heaps of value with the talk today. We've spoken about finding your why. Do as Michael said earlier, we would love it if you can click the link and go back to the Facebook post and share what you got out of this. And because ideally we want this to grow, we want to build the engagement so that we're all working towards this outcome together, and sharing and teaching as we go. So I don't think there was anything else. Was there anything else you wanted to mention, Michael?
I actually did. I just thought about this. Guys, we're talking about the why this week. Why we want to do things, and you may be thinking, this is why, but how the hell am I going to do it? That is what we're covering next week. So we're not just going to say, oh, here, get yourself excited because you can do anything, and then leave it there. So next week we're kind of building upon each other in these weeks, so that next week we'll start tapping into what is it that you can do. So if you have gone through what we're saying this week and the exercises Joel helps you go through, it's going to be more simple to go through next week's lesson, which is covering more of what and what you can do to achieve your why. Again, remember, we want to give you a more of a guided tour to your success, as opposed to a really sloppy mess that we've both had to deal with. So if you just follow the steps, it keeps things really simple. The question is, are you willing to do that for yourself? Is really what it comes down to. And that's all I really wanted to just toss out. It's like, next week we've got the next part. So don't worry. We got you. We got your back.
We got you. Love it. Yeah, excellent. No, thanks for that, Michael. And just a final reminder to, once you've posted on Facebook, to go through those exercises and leave that comment below this video, so we can all sort of share the journey. So, all right, well, I'm going to wrap it up. So I'm Joel Ennisley, and on behalf of Michael Leedy, we are here to remind you that when you feel like you're going it alone, you're only 2 clicks away to your community of like-minded entrepreneurs, that being the Gay Entrepreneurs Network. So have a great day, and remember that each day opens with a brand new page.